First of all, I would like to congratulate all the office bearers of the Student Council and various clubs. I wish you all the best. I've been meeting the Student Council members. They're a wonderful team. So, thinking of teamwork, I got reminded of something. How many of you know the difference between hell and heaven? Raise your hands. Good. I think most of you, at least everybody has a definition of the difference between hell and heaven. I have heard a version. So a person, of course, dies and then has an option to go and see both hell and heaven. First, he is taken to hell. So there he sees many people. I mean, it's the dining time. There he sees many people sitting around a dining table. The food is on the table, delicious food and everything. So he's wondering what's wrong. It's supposed to be hell. There's something supposed to be wrong. What's wrong is everybody has a stick tied to their arm, a long stick tied to their arm, right? So the food is all served in front of them. There are sticks tied to both the arms. So they just look at the food. They cannot eat. It's a very pathetic situation. So he decides, wow, it's better not to have food than to have the food in front and not able to eat it. So then he goes to heaven. Heaven, coincidentally, it's the same scenario. Everything is the same. There's delicious on the top of the table, on the table, and everybody has the same kind of stick attached to them. But there was only one difference. In heaven, they started feeding each other, because when you extend the arm, you can feed the other person. The person opposite starts feeding you. So that's where teamwork comes into play, right? So I don't know if you have read Stephen Covey. It's about 7 Habits of Successful People. There, he talks about the transition phase. As we are all young, we are dependent. We are dependent on mainly on our parents, for getting fed and getting dressed up and everything. So we start as a young person, before less than 10 years or something. We are on a different. We go through a dependent phase, and then when we become teenagers, we get this confidence, overconfidence. Then we feel we are very independent. We don't want to be dependent on anyone, neither the parents nor the teacher. We don't want to listen to anyone. I think I can relate to all of you or most of you there. So from dependency, we grow into independency. And then what should happen is what is called as interdependent. You become interdependent. So, then you realize as you grow from teenager, as you enter life, you are expected to, not many change, people still live in their own islands, but what is expected of you to become successful is to become interdependent. Realize that you got to give something and take something. The world is in a give and take policy. You cannot just expect everybody to give and not take. So it's a give and take policy. So the point I'm trying to emphasize here is teamwork is an important thing, and I see that very well under the leadership of Siva Harsha, and I want them to continue that excellent teamwork. As PC2 pointed out, leadership quality is a very important thing which I want every student of VIT to be capable of. We want to prepare you as tomorrow's leaders of this world, and you should take all opportunities possible, becoming a club secretary or becoming a member of student council and taking up designations like president, vice president, and all the secretary posts. It gives you the leadership quality. You are, the other day they organized a function for conducting the 5th pillar event. It was done very well. It gives you the opportunity to conduct events and display leadership qualities, and that's what will make the difference. Now, I understand all your scores in the classes make a very important distinction, but on top of it, if you have the leadership quality, if you have the ability to, get the team working, to have the event to ability to coordinate events, it helps a lot. And there are many role models. Of course, many of you are from outside Tamil Nadu, so you may not have known about Anna, Arinyar Anna. The auditorium is named after him. he was a great role model for this entire state, in fact, for the entire country. And, he had the command of oratory skill. Of course, our Chancellor is a disciple. He was handpicked by Arinyar Anna. So he has imbibed those qualities, those leadership qualities. One of the quality, his oratorial skill was so powerful in the middle of the night, at 12 o'clock in the night, when he says, please stand up, there will be millions of crowd which will just stand up and obey him. That is the kind of leadership quality you should develop eventually. But, this is where in the university you lay the foundation to develop such leadership qualities. So I want you to start looking at role models. Gandhi is a great leader. So such role models, and develop your leadership qualities. And of course, I don't want to take a lot of time to talk about VIT. We have been, and we will be, and we are student friendly, and we want to be student focused. In fact, if we want to have an informal motto for the institution, I will say it's all about the students. Right? VIT should be all about students. We are here. VIT is here because of students. So, we, the management and the faculty, we will constantly remind ourselves that students, the students, will get #1 priority in this institution. There is no doubt about it. As an institution, we have come a long way in a short period of 23 years. We have come a long way, but we have got even a longer distance to cover. It's like we have reached the height of Ooty top, but we have Everest to climb. So we should not rest on our laurels. We should march forward and reach the top of Everest. Let's beat the IITs. It's not easy, but we can beat the IITs. You should be able to produce a lot of papers. Publishing papers is very important. It's not just for postgraduate and PhD students. I have seen a lot of bachelor's degree students publishing papers. I'm really impressed. I want publishing of papers to be done by vast majority of the students, and executing excellent projects, not some ordinary projects. I want you to execute valuable projects which will be useful when you in your career, when you go for employment, and in future you should be proud of your project. So think of good ideas for projects, not some ordinary projects. So talking about institution, I'll close shortly with one example which I heard about. Categories of colleges. It seems there are 3 kinds of colleges. One category, the colleges take horses inside and produce better horses, better running horses. There are some colleges which take donkeys and convert them into horses. Whereas there are some colleges which take horses and convert them into donkeys. I will leave it up to you to decide which category VIT falls under. I sincerely appreciate the work, a very good beginning. One thing which Harsha modestly forgot to point out is the tremendous amount of help they lent us during the admissions time. During the hostel admission, it was overcrowded and we were struggling, and immediately came the student council, we will help you. That's the feeling, that's the spirit I appreciate. They set up a help desk and helped us. I wish them the very best. Thank you.